Hi, I'm Dan Gable with Shore Murphy and Associates of Casey, and this is another episode of Big Agent in a Small Town. Today, I want to discuss possible reasons that someone might not want to do business with a local independent insurance agency. You might think this sounds kind of crazy since I'm a partner at a local independent insurance agency, but I think it's important for us all to realize that every kind of business or insurance company is not a one size fits all. And also, I think there are some misconceptions about independent insurance agencies as well too. And so I want to point some of those out as well. I do have to give a shout out to Ryan Hanley, the owner of Rogue Risk. Also, I had approached him with this question, and he actually asked Chat GPT and sent me over these answers, which I thought were really interesting. So I thank him for that. So the first reason why someone might not want to do business with a local independent agent is a limited range of insurance products. So some people might think local independent insurance agents typically have access to a limited range of products, so customers may not be able to find the coverage that they need. So I can see where people might think this. They might feel like one particular insurance company is an expert in a particular coverage or that kind of thing. What I will say for a local independent agency is that we do work with multiple highly rated insurance companies directly. So we have multiple companies we work with where, or I'll just talk about mainly commercial insurance where I specialize. Let's say that you're an electrical contractor. I have multiple companies who are very familiar with insurance for electrical contractors and can offer really competitive rates. But there will be things that don't always fall all inside this box. So let's say that you were an electrical contractor who was working on nuclear generators. Obviously, not every insurance company is going to want to look at that. So as an independent agent, we have access to what's called brokerage, where it's a way for us to work with hundreds, if not thousands, of possible insurance carriers. So on a very specialized kind of risk, we have access to a lot of companies. So that's the benefit of the choice, and with an independent insurance agent in that case. Second reason is limited knowledge. Independent insurance agents may not have the same level of knowledge as an insurance company employee, who are often specialists in that field. So again, I can understand the thought if you work for one company and only know the product for one company, you ideally should know that inside and out better than someone who's having to know the coverages and rules for multiple companies. So there's something to be said for that. The one thing I will say for independent insurance agents that's important, and that I really recommend, and that you look for or in an independent insurance agent, is someone who's an expert in a particular coverage or a particular industry. So, for example, I specialize in insurance for contractors. I have what's called a construction risk and insurance specialist designation. So I'm keeping up on my continuing education also on trends in the construction industry and insurance and things like that. And so by working with an independent agent, you can have access to someone who has a lot of knowledge in your particular industry, and can provide you a lot of service and insight with that. So that's something to keep in mind with independent insurance agents as well too. Now, another concern is limited availability. So local independent insurance agents may not be able to answer questions or provide assistance when needed. This can definitely be a fair point. So I'm, like I said, I'm part owner of a local Main Street independent insurance agency. You can't call my office at 7:00 at night if you have a question. Or other companies, we're gonna have an 800 number where you can call and get an answer or to a question. One thing I'll say, where independent agencies have made a lot of progress, and even our small town agency, we do now have a office text line. So you can text our office phone number anytime during the day with a question or concern, and we are able to often get to those after business hours. So it may not be immediately, but it's something where a lot of agencies do have more access than things in the past. Other agencies I know use things like agency apps, chat features, or on an app or a website. So there's been a lot of progress with independent agents there as well too. The fourth reason is limited discounts. So independent agents usually can't offer the same discounts or incentives from a larger insurance company. With that, there definitely are companies that do specialize and have discounts that might not be available to all independent agents. Things I could think of would be, for example, a company like USAA, who's only available to members of the military or their families, or things like AARP program, things like that. So there definitely is validity to that. The one thing I will say though, when it comes to discounts, again, where we do work with multiple companies, we have companies that might offer a discount that a lot of others don't, or that specialize in industries that other companies might not either. So we do have access to discounts and pricing through those multiple carrier relationships that companies that only have one option might not have as well too. Finally, last reason is lack of security. So customers may not feel secure dealing with a local independent agent as they would with a major insurance company. Again, and there can be some validity here of a large corporate insurance company is going to have a lot more resources than me who just has an office in a small Main Street town. So I can't dispute those resources or how valuable they can be sometimes. Now, what I can say though, when you talk about security and trust, you do have with a local independent agency and an insurance professional that you can get to know and trust on a personal level that you're not going to have with a corporation or an 800 number. So if that's more important to you, that's where an independent agent can be a benefit. But also I can understand and where the resources available to those large companies can be attractive as well too. So that's kind of a quick overview. So the main thing I want to point out is even though I am a local independent agent, I understand that we won't always be a fit for everyone. But there are a lot of cases where I do feel like there are misconceptions and we may be a lot better fit for people than they believe as well too. If you have any insurance questions or would like to reach out, please call or text me at 217-932-2267 or by email to Dan, D-A-N, at Shore Murphy Casey, SHOREMURPHYCASEY.com. Thanks.